Well, welcome everybody to LOL, Laugh Online with the Library, a tour of some funny books, ebooks, and movies from our online collection. Well, first off, I just want to say we really miss you at the library. I know this has been a difficult time for a lot of us, but I'd like to introduce you to some resources you can use at home to bring a bit of joy and laughter to your life. My name is Cheryl Bemiss. I'm the Reference and Adult Services Librarian at the Southeast Branch Library, and I'm a huge comedy fan. I like all types, stand-up, funny memoirs, slapstick, satire, you name it. And I'm really excited to be sharing my favorite genre with you. And that is a picture of me from 100 years ago. So April is National Humor Month. Who knew that was a thing? So it was started in 1976 and it's meant to heighten awareness of the therapeutic benefits of humor. I really feel like we all could use a laugh right now. And laughter triggers the release of endorphins and it also burns calories from all those donuts we've been eating at home. So what gets us chuckling? Well, I don't know about you, but none of these images do it for me. Plus, it was really difficult to find a picture of a non-evil clown. So finding online resources that are actually funny. Well, we have some digital resources on our website, Overdrive and Libby. Libby is the mobile app for Overdrive, which contains ebooks and audiobooks. RB Digital is magazines and audiobooks. And Hoopla is a little bit of everything. Audiobooks, movies, music, comics, ebooks, television. The only caveat with Hoopla is that it does limit your checkouts to 7 per month. So it's pretty easy to get started. Just go to our website, sjcpls.org, and you can find the e-library tab on the upper right, and then under that are 3 digital resources. And I also want to mention our instant e-card. We are offering it it's good for 60 days, and it includes access to all these collections. And when we reopen, we encourage you to come in if you don't already have a card and visit us. So I'd like to talk first about Overdrive. And in Overdrive, you go in and select subject. You'll see a long list of different genres. And there's actually 2 for humor, fiction and nonfiction. And I'd like to highlight 3 of my favorite funny people. I haven't read the first book, but Tig is one of my favorite stand-up comedians. And this book is available as an ebook and an audiobook. It's called I'm Just a Person. So I've watched many of Tig's stand-up comedy routines and appearances on Conan O'Brien. And in 2012, she was hospitalized for an intestinal disease. Her mom died. She went through a breakup, and then she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And shortly after, she opened one of her sets with, "Good evening. Hello. I have cancer. How are you?" And this memoir is a book about her journey into darkness and her return from it. And she's now married. She has 2 kids and she's in full recovery. And this is a really great example of overcoming tough odds and still being able to laugh. The second resource is Wildflower by Drew Barrymore, available as an ebook. And I actually read this one for our celebrity memoir selection in my Read book club at Southeast. It's fun, it's light, it's filled with anecdotes of her crazy life. And if you like Drew, you will love this book. It talks about her moving out at the age of 14, becoming emancipated. She had to learn how to do her own laundry, living in her first apartment, and it kind of shows her transition from wild child to mother, director, producer, and philanthropist. And it's a really fun, uplifting read. One of my comedy heroes, Tina Fey, wrote a book called Bossy Pants, and that's available as an ebook and an audiobook. I loved her on 30 Rock and her work on SNL. And in this book, she talks about growing up as a nerd, her great family, and her early years in comedy. And one of my favorite chapters is what turning 40 means to me. And it's 1 page. And she says, "I need to take my pants off as soon as I get home. I didn't used to have to do that, but now I do." And this is our July selection for the Novels at Night book club at Southeast, and I highly recommend it. So RB Digital is a repository of audiobooks and magazines. And when I went in, I filtered and viewed by genre under audiobooks. And the first selection is You Are Not So Smart by David McCraney. And this tone is similar to Malcolm Gladwell and Freakonomics, if you've read either one of those. It's kind of funny pop psychology from a journalist. It's based on his blog. And Amazon says, it's like a psychology class with all the boring parts taken out and no homework. It's a celebration of self-delusion. And it's not laugh out loud funny, but it's funny in that, oh, that's why I act this way. Ali Wong's book is called Dear Girls, and she's a stand-up comedian, writer, and actress. And this book is a series of hilarious and heartfelt letters to her two daughters that covers everything they need to know in life: dating, Asian culture, being a working mom, and a feminist. I haven't read this one yet, but if I know Ali from her stand-up, it's bound to be a bit risque but sweet at the same time. And The Milk Lady of Bangalore by Shobha Narayan, we read this one in the Novels and Night Book Club last year. And Amazon describes it as, this charming true story, the bond between two unforgettable women, leads to a humorous and insightful exploration of India, cows, food, culture, class, and our deep connection to the animals who live among us. So the author returns to India after many years in the US and befriends a milk lady who wants her to invest in a cow. And the book opens with her finding a cow in the elevator of her apartment building sent to bless someone's home with its dung. And it deals with myths, religion, and the melding of different cultures. And it's a true story, and I think it'll really crack you up. And lastly, we have Hoopla. So I filtered by movies, then comedies. And my first selection is from the gang at Mystery Science Theater 3000. You know when a movie is so bad that you end up making fun of it out loud? Well, that's their specialty. And there are 43 different titles to choose from in Hoopla. I haven't seen Teenage Caveman yet, but I imagine it's just as deliciously dreadful as the others I have seen. I love Mystery Science Theater's riffing and ad-libbing, and I hope you will too. So The Station Agent is one of my favorite films. It stars Peter Dinklage, Patricia Clarkson, and Michelle Williams. And Peter's character just wants to be left alone. He takes up residence in an abandoned train depot, and then a cast of interesting characters will not leave him be, including a librarian, artist, and food truck owner. And this movie is sweet, funny, and it really highlights how important human connection is. My last selection is Louis Anderson's stand-up special, Big Underwear. Louis's been rocking his self-deprecating brand of humor for over 40 years. And in this special, he talks about trying to get healthy, lose weight, his crazy family, and more. And one of my favorite jokes he did recently is that he had a DNA test, and he's 20% alcohol and 80% butter. He's such a sweet, kind, hilarious man, and I adore him. And I hope you will too. So if you're not into comedy, well, that's okay too. We have plenty of e-resources and different genres to choose from. This is just a sample of some of those: classics, romantic comedies, independent films, and mystery movies. So if you have any questions about anything, not just this presentation, you can go to our website and go to askalibrarian.org. You can chat with us on your computer, you can text us, you can send us an email, whatever you're comfortable with, and we'll be there to answer any questions you may have about any of our library services or programs. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've learned some things, and I hope you'll use our resources and you'll come back to the library when we reopen. And I just want to say, keep smiling and keep laughing. And thank you so much.